Welcome back here on this Sunday afternoon, talking about a gala that is coming up. A gala. We go through it all the time, potato, potato. It's coming up Thursday at the Hilton Garden Inn at Levis Commons in Perrysburg, focusing on ISOH impact and the efforts that they are undertaking there on the Levis Commons property. Take a look at the property. We shot this earlier this week before we got some snowfall, and you can tell it's cold out there. But this is the big sign out there on the property on the back side of Levis Commons. Sits in the, the southwestern corner of that property back there. But Linda, talk a little, obviously hopes and dreams. This is a Hope Gala, but there are hopes and dreams for this Hope Center. And what physically will people see once you guys are able to get these funds? You're talking about $400,000 to put something on that site.
Oh yeah, well it's going to cost more than that to build it. It's about $1.6 million, but we have a matching grant of $400,000 that we're trying to beat right now. But on that
it's so much more than a warehouse. She was talking about doctor
it's not
facilities.
A warehouse. That's the problem. Everybody looks at ISOH impact and thinks just disaster relief, but it's going to have offices there for the healthcare services. It has offices for people to come in to train people how to go overseas. With medical teams, because there's different cultures, and Americans sometimes go overseas to an area that's been hit by a disaster, and like Haiti, and you need to know the culture, you need to know what you're walking into. So, and you need to know how to pack supplies. I mean, even on the way down.
I went to break talking about, you told me you had an anecdote about the fact that trucks, even though people have the generosity in their heart to help out and slam pack these trucks with goods going to hard-hit areas, those trucks don't always get through.
No, they don't, because Lori recently had a phone call when we had Superstorm Sandy. What was going on with that?
Well, we had a phone call where someone had done a collection drive, just loaded it all in the back of a trailer, which their heart was in the right place, but it was in bags and loosely loaded into the container, and then they wanted just to tell us where they could drop it off. And there is a system in place that has to be there in order to make sure that the supplies get where they're going and that you send the things that people need. So if they get to the other end and you open the doors and everything is an avalanche out the back, then it becomes a hazard. You're not helping, you're just putting more of a burden on those distribution centers.
And one of our drivers called in and he said that he had witnessed somebody being pulled over and said that stuff's not going forward. And they turned it away. And this was in America. This is on the way down to Superstorm Sandy. So when you open up the back end of our trailers, you got buckets. And they are identified. If they're pet, or if they're hygiene, or if it's food, it's identified, and they could just pull it off and hand it off to somebody.
Before we get the specifics of the evening and where people can get more information if they want to sign up, I want you to talk about the two young ladies who I met who are staying right now.
You're talking about Shura, who is just had a total hip done. And we want to thank Mercy Healthcare Services for doing this, but she's walking straight.
She is from where?
She is from Afghanistan, and her father said, I don't want her back. So she's got asylum now, and she's going to Owens, but she's walking straight, and she's getting ready probably in maybe 3 more months, have her second
Was she having surgery done incorrectly overseas? Or
oh yeah, she went through about 12 surgeries in Tajikistan, and they took her hips and her knees. One was going just discombobulated them. And she wasn't even standing. And so I ran into her.
Was it because of an injury? Was it a deformity?
No, she was born like that. She was born with hip dysplasia, but in Tajikistan they said they could do the surgeries, and they really messed her up bad. But with her at that time was little Marwa, and they came bringing her in, and I was like, because I was in Tajikistan at that time, trying to help out as best as I could because of the war. And here comes little Marwa. She was like 2 years old, and she had fallen because of a bomb and a shrapnel, and her bone had fallen out, and then they just let it heal over. But the problem is,
bone, and you said her brain had almost started moving forward.
Every time she would laugh, cry, walk, or anything, her brain would pulsate out. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get this kid back to America. So the first time around, which was 10 years ago, I picked up the phone and called Dr. Healy and said, can you help me? And he goes, are you sure this kid's okay? And I said, yes. And if anybody knows Dr. Healy, they would understand that question. And I said, sure, trust me, let me bring this child over. And he fixed her. And then we sent her back. And
these girls will be at the gala.
yes, and we sent her back, and then she had to come back and have another surgery, and he fixed it again, and now she is the first time. Marwa is from Afghanistan also. The first time in her life she is okay physically, mentally, and spiritual. The first time in her life at the age of 13.
Yeah.
This kid is perfect.
Yeah.
And Shura's on her way, and Marhamat's on her way.
Yeah, these are.
And we have another one, a kid that we're thinking about bringing in from Tanzania,
Yes.
the Dr. Gladio.
Dr. Gladio has brought her to our attention.
Yes.
Her name's Esther. She's 7, and she was born missing the left side of her jaw.
No kidding.
Yeah, we're looking
Yep.
at her.
Yeah, I was just going to bring you in on this, and I mean, obviously, heartbreaking, but inspirational stories. And I mean, I think that's kind of what you were.
Exactly.
You guys look to.
You can see the compassion with all the people in the spearheads, basically. You can see the compassion and how you cannot do something about this compassion. I mean, we are privileged to be part of this, and we know how hard everybody works in the center. We know the center does not separate good, bad, ugly.
Yeah.
They have one purpose, and that purpose is to assist the humans in need.
The other thing to take into consideration is, and we talk about this from time to time here at the station, we put out those calls that this event is happening, we covered that event that's happening, but this is, I mean, it is a monumental task, especially first one out of the gate, Lori.
Yes.
In order to get 1, people involved, 2, get people to come, 3, entice people to come by getting generous donations through the community. But that's kind of what you're looking for at this point, is for just overall involvement, no matter what slot you fill.
Exactly. And I believe we're talking about the gala, right?
Yeah, of course.
Just making sure. Absolutely. I mean, this is our first event, and so Linda and I are looking at each other and pulling on the assistance of a lot of people in the community, but it's whatever way someone can get involved is all we're asking, because it's going to take everyone to get this facility up. It's just as it takes everyone to do what we do every day. So whether it's attending the gala, I mean, the tickets are only $50 for a gala. That is fantastic, I think.
Yes.
And come and participate in the silent auction. Donate for the silent auction. Still looking for a golf package, by the way. Whether it's just come and see who we are, meet us face to face, introduce yourself, come and learn a little bit more about ISOH Impact, learn about what this center is going to do for the community, and just gather together to celebrate what this community means, what we stand for, and how we can continue to reach out and serve others.
Yeah. Linda, obviously money the driving force behind this, but is there a timetable in your mind as to when something like this could actually become a reality?
We can probably start in the spring if we can get this matching grant done.
Okay.
Okay, I know that the matching grant, they're telling me that we have to have it all matched by March the 30th of 2013, but we could break ground in the spring.
Is there uncertainty right now, as we've seen reported over the last couple of months, with things like grants, things along those lines?
There is uncertainty, but I can't go there. I
Yeah.
have enough faith to walk through this, and I know that there is finances coming in. So I am going to stand up and to say we can do this. I am not going to get worried about this.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, just like with the lighthouse. I mean, we got that lighthouse. That was awesome. I wasn't prepared for that, but we just have to get the community involved. The community has to know it's not about ISOH Impact. It's not about.
I also want to
Lorraine.
point out for people that don't know,
Yeah.
you're not talking about a structure out in the middle of a bay.
Right.
The lighthouse is actually out in.
Yes.
The lighthouse is in Perrysburg, Ohio.
Yes.
It's our medical rehabilitation facility.
Yes, which will be obviously
A part of the international.
The next step
yeah.
of that facility will be on
Well, we'll
Levis
move
County's
all
property.
of the. We'll move our offices out and put it over there at the International Hope Center.
Yeah.
But this is about the community. The International Hope Center is about the community. It's about the community's legacy.
And it's much,
Because-
and as you said, it's much more than just putting buckets together, even though that activity will not stop.
No, it can't, because that's the easiest activity that we have.
So $50 for a ticket to the event coming up on Thursday. Let's go ahead and show people at home where we're talking, when we're talking, as far as The ISOH Impact Hope Gala, Imagine the Possibilities. That's something that's on the invite.
Yes,
Yes.
imagine the possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of sums it up for everybody. Hilton Garden Inn, the Grand Ballroom there. If you want more information, and there is a transposed letter there, and I apologize, folks at home, ISOH, not ISHO. ISOHimpact.org. The phone number you can call, you saw it right there, 878. Finish those last four for me.
8548.
8548. Lori is there to pick it up by the strings. As we go into our
Can I
final.
give a shout out to somebody?
You of course can.
I just want to thank Debbie Nail. I mean, in the middle of all this, she's just been tirelessly walking along the sidelines and fixing our website.
Out of
By
town,
the
not
way,
able to join us today for this taping.
And
Yes.
I tell you, we had a crash. Somebody cyber attacked our website in the Christmas season, which is our biggest time of the year. She worked tirelessly to get that done and says, I'm just going to do this, don't worry about it.
And it's one of those things that you guys look to champion as far as those efforts in the community.
Yeah, I mean, she's just awesome.
As we
She's
go
awesome.
into our last couple of seconds, a final thought from all of you as far as going forward with this event and just the continued efforts.
Just come out and see us and get involved and imagine the possibilities how you can change one person's life just by giving them a cup of water. Just one person at a time, because when Stan and I started over many years ago, we had $49. We got we gave businessman $49. He gave us 3 containers of supplies, and we started changing lives. And now we have did $60 million worth of food in the last.
Imagine the possibility. Imagine the possibility of having no more poverty in Perrysburg because the International Hope Center can take care of all of the needs of the people.
And I will even go beyond that from a regional perspective, as we all hear from city government. And I invite all city governments in Northwest Ohio and Southeastern Michigan to be a part of this effort. And obviously, if you're interested, please, isohimpact.org. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll be back right after this.